Well, hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about how you can help your teenager with anxiety. Now, anxiety pops up in a lot of different ways, but the two most common ways that our teenagers struggle with anxiety, first is around social anxiety, peer pressure, social media, and just dealing with friends. But then the second big area is around schoolwork and doing well in school and just the pressure that's there from an academic standpoint. And that's going to be the focus of this video and the next two parts after this one as well. So let's get started and dive in. Well, hello again, everyone. My name is Jim White, and I'm an author, coach, and the founder of the Family Enrichment Academy. And today we're going to be talking about how to help your teenager with anxiety, and specifically around anxiety related to schoolwork or their academic achievements. And our focus today in this episode is going to be around the power of your mindset and the impact that can have on your teenager and their anxiety. Before we dive in though, I just want to let you know to be sure to stick around to the end of this video. I got a free resource for you, and it's around 10 questions you should never ask your teenager. So be sure to stick around to the end, and I'll share with you some more information about that and how to get that. So anyway, back to this idea of mindset. As you know, this is one of our three fundamentals. It's really up to the parent to manage their mindset and put themselves in a good place to be able to serve and support their teenager. And when we think about what's going on from an academic standpoint, and if your teen is struggling, if they're experiencing some anxiety, what I want you to do is just stop for a minute and think about what happens for you, or what comes up for you when your teen comes home. Let's say they walk in after school and you can tell they're frustrated, they're anxious, they're just upset about what's happening at school. So again, the first question is, what comes up for you? Now, I know that when this has happened for me as well with our children, and for me, the first thing that would come up is worry. I worried about them, and I want them, you want them not to have to experience pain. You want them to be happy and to be comfortable with what they're doing. And so I would just worry about them. Is that something that happens for you? Another common one is frustration, especially if the teenager is experiencing frustration. The parent will get pulled into that frustration and maybe even start complaining about how, the teachers at school really don't understand what it's like for a teenager today, and that they just put too much work and emphasis on every class has too much work, and so when you pile 5, 6, 7 classes all up together, it's just too overwhelming for the teenager. So it's easy for us as a parent to get pulled into that frustration and start complaining as well. So again, what comes up for you? And the reason I bring this up is because if you're experiencing worry, or if you're experiencing frustration or disappointment, any of those kinds of negative emotions or experiences, my point is you're not in a good place to serve and support your teen. And your first job is to try to shift your perspective and shift your mindset so that you can get more into a love-based mindset. And the first step in this is just to notice, be aware of when you're there, create a little bit of a pause, and then start to look for ways to shift. And I would throw out these three areas to focus on to create that shift. The first one is around forgiveness. As we all know, when we talk about love, forgiveness is a key item. And specifically, what I invite you to do is to think about what are the negative judgments or opinions that you need to let go of. Like, for example, the teachers just don't understand what a teenager's going through. That's an example of a negative judgment. You need to let go of that and in effect kind of forgive that teacher. That releases some of that negative energy for you. The second one is around gratitude. How can I be grateful for this situation? And one example, if your teen is experiencing anxiety around their schoolwork, that's just a sign that they're committed to doing a good job, right? And that's a good thing. The flip side of that would be to have an apathetic teen, somebody that doesn't care. And while both of these are challenges, there is something to be grateful for here, in that your teen has an invested interest in their grades and they're trying. They want to do a good job. And so again, focus on gratitude. And maybe it's the school itself. Maybe you've got a great school and there's just so many opportunities there for your teen to grow and learn. So be grateful for that as well. So bring some gratitude in. And then the third one is compassion. How can you express some compassion for your teen and just see them, going through this struggle, and just be a safe place? And really the whole purpose of this shift in mindset is you want to try to get yourself into a love-based mindset so that you can be a safe place for your teenager to step towards. As they're going through this anxiety, they need some safe space to step into to be able to let that negative energy dissipate for them so that then they can move on to the next step. So again, find a way to shift that mindset for yourself. And sometimes parents, they're looking for the, what do I do? What do I do? And I always like to say, the first step in this is, who do you need to be in the situation? And we need to be love-centered and love-based. And so when you catch yourself being frustrated or being worried about your teen and their anxiety, that just as it points to that first step of, let's shift that mindset, get ourselves in a good place. Once we're in that good place, then we can move to the other steps in the process of building connection and empowering your teen. But first, we have to manage ourselves. So hopefully you found some ideas here and maybe a little bit of insight that'll help you. One of my big themes here is that a change in perspective changes everything. And this is just an example. If you can shift that perspective, it will change everything for you and your relationship with your teen. So take it into consideration. So again, create a pause, look for a way to introduce some forgiveness, look for some opportunities for gratitude, and then move yourself to more of a compassionate mindset. Do those three things, and then you'll be in a good place to engage with the teen. So again, hope you found some value in that. My whole goal is just to be here to serve and support and help move you along your parenting journey. That's really our mission here at the Family Enrichment Academy. And to, again, just empower you to choose love over fear. If you think about it, that worry and that frustration, those other negative emotions are all signs or signals that you're coming from a fearful mindset. And so we want to try to choose love first and then move forward with our teens. So again, hope you found some value in that. Back to that free resource, I do have these 10 questions that you should never ask your teen. Think of these as like conversation killers. And there's a link below you can click on, go to the website, and we'll set you up to download that resource. And along with it, on the flip side, I've got 10 great questions. These are the conversation starters. In these questions, the idea here is to help you to get your teen to open up and talk a little bit more and to build a little bit of that connection. And it all starts with asking great questions. So again, it's a free resource, again, just part of what we're trying to offer and share to you and help you, again, move along your parenting journey. So anyway, hope you found some value in this. It's just truly an honor to be able to serve and support you. And I just really appreciate you taking the time to check out what we're doing and be a part of our community. It just, again, it's just a true pleasure. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate your commitment to being a better parent. So until next time, and actually remember I've got 2 more videos in this series. We're going to talk about building connection in part 2, and we're also going to talk about empowerment in part 3. So be sure to check those out as well. So until next time, remember, a change in perspective changes everything.